So yeah, I know what's athlete mental health like. It's sometimes we look at somebody in the NBA or the NFL and say, "Please, you make millions of dollars. What are you sad about?" Okay, you just see my life, man. What are you complaining about? And working with athletes, one of the things I've realized that folks may not really appreciate is I know we sort of elevate them on a different pedestal and they look superhuman because some of them, let's be honest, like they look superhuman, right? I remember one guy in particular, we'll call him Steve, who was 6'8", 300 pounds in the NFL. You know, he's the kind of guy that if I get in trouble, I want Steve around. Okay, I want him to be there to have my back. And he came into my office and he said, I've been really having a tough time. I've been really struggling. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, Steve, I know you got a multi-million-dollar NFL contract. Let's hear the struggle here. You know what I mean? And he said, there's a girl that I've been in love with since college, and I've done everything I can for us to sort of pursue a relationship. And I feel like I'm doing all the right things. But recently we had a really tough fight and we had a breakup, and I don't think this is going to work. I think we've been talking for years and I've been in love with her, and I feel really heartbroken. And to hear a dude who's 6'8", 300 pounds talk about being heartbroken, it was another reminder. Again, I'm a psychiatrist. I know we have hearts. No matter how large or how small you are, you got a heart. But it was a reminder for me is like, we're all kind of going through similar human experiences, whether you're in a social class where you've got much more affluence and much more resources, or you're in a place where you're struggling. The human interaction, the relationships, the heartbreak kind of is the same. And for athletes, whether it was professional football players or basketball players, there's definitely a different layer of scrutiny. There is a different layer of pressure, right? You have to perform at a high level. You have to be at a place where you're at your best all the time. He also went on to explain to me that sometimes, this relationship was so special to him because there are other people around him who he doesn't know if they want to use him for his resources, for clout, for, the social media shout out. And here's somebody who cared about him and knew him before other people knew him, before he was known on the internet. And you and I kind of have the same thing. We want to be able to be sure that we're known and we're loved, we're heard, we're understood for who we are, not because of some other external factor. So one thing I'd love for people to consider about sort of athlete mental health, even though we, rightfully so, we praise athletes because they can do superhuman things that I would never imagine myself. But the empathy that we can have and what I love seeing is that they can move the conversation in a place where, hey, we're all in this boat together, right? We're struggling in a very similar way. They just happen to have a louder microphone than the rest of us, and we can use that.